Oh no.
Missing.
Greg?
Missing.
I thought this was a duet.
Missing.
Oh, so you're just gonna sing all the parts? Those are not the right sounds.
Missing.
Can you hear me?
Missing. Oh, missing.
Bonk.
Welcome to Miss Thing. I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim. And this is a podcast that celebrates and appreciates the missed things of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing's storied career and do what we do best, which is make it all about us.
Yes.
Yes, so we want to start this episode by saying our hearts go out to everyone in Los Angeles. These fires have been absolutely devastating. It's been so hard to, be here and to witness so much suffering and to know truly so many people who have lost so much.
Yeah.
So we just want to start there and let you know, we are. Just let everyone know that we really are doing everything we can to help, and there's a long road ahead.
And we're gonna link when this episode comes out. While you are currently hearing it, but there will be links to places that you can donate should you feel inclined.
Sure.
We will also talk about that more at the end of the episode.
Yeah. We'll be sure to put that in our link tree and put it on our socials and everything because every little bit helps right now.
And there's also a doc that we'll include that has volunteer opportunities if you are local in Los Angeles and don't have money but want to give in some regard.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been a terrible week.
Yeah.
Truly, my sister had to evacuate, which was rough, and then we ended up going down to Anthony's mom's place in Marina del Rey because the air quality was better there, the three of us in tight quarters. So it was, and we're very lucky and blessed in that regard. Where her apartment ended up being fine, but she lives at the base of Runyon, around there. Not to fully dox my sister.
Right. She lives at 2-3.
She just lives in the evacuation zone, we should say.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things where it was just so hitting so hard because you and I, and you also were very close to, you were in it way more than where we are currently.
I was sort of very much in between the Eaton fire and the Runyon fire.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I live close to Griffith Park, which thankfully, nothing happened there. I think they closed it early. So yeah, we were really lucky. The air quality was very bad, but we're safe and everything is good.
Yeah. And it's just such a weird, it feels very almost first week of COVID vibes where
totally
it's I don't know if you feel this way, but just that the feeling the guilt of the fact that we still have our homes when so many people we know don't.
Right.
And yet at the same time, it's just so heavy everywhere we go. And so there's just so much to be navigating. And meanwhile, so many other people are dealing with way worse or whatever. It's just been a very difícil time.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
a little
Spanish
nod to the multicultural melting pot of
Jennifer
a city
Stress.
that we live
in.
Yeah. But we're here. Yeah. We decided. Obviously, we've been wrestling. Do we do this? But I think it's an opportunity for us to just sort of get together and hang out and hopefully laugh and we hope you're laughing and safe and yeah.
Yes, a little bit of a distraction.
Sure.
And I think in the midst of this terrible, no good, very bad weeks, we also ended up at the urgent care. And I think maybe we should talk about how while the world was on fire, we're both at urgent care.
We both had medical emergencies that sort of had nothing to do with what was going on around us.
Very inconvenient, and you're I shouldn't be here, but also I'm in intense pain. Sure. So what do we do?
Sure. Yeah. Mine was actually weather related. As you know, first of all,
back up. Yeah,
I ended up on crutches this past week. Tim was actually kind enough to go pick up crutches from one of our friends
After
who
I
had
pushed him down the stairs.
after he pushed me down the stairs. He wishes. But I did sort of, the way I ended up on those crutches is I did fall down a flight of stairs because in the sort of Wizard of Oz-esque winds that sort of started it all, we had some plants that had just been delivered to the house. So I was going to like move them to a safe space. One fell on me. I then fell, landed on my foot wrong. So I've been on crutches all week. I did think I broke my foot, but I discovered yesterday at the urgent care when I finally got there, the woman was like, no, you just sprained it. You're kind of wasting my time here.
And I would like to point out to the Jennifer shows that even though Greg is on crutches, he absolutely refuses to use these crutches.
Oh, no.
I've hung out with him a couple times this week. After giving him these crutches, almost immediately, I want to say, instead of using the crutches, he would just hop on one leg and say that was easier. So...
Well, I like to push it. I like to push it. I'm definitely a doer. I'm a go-getter, and I hate inconvenience.
I also just want to say that like that is maybe like top 10 gayest ways to fall is like the plant that you just got fell over and then you fall over. It just feels,
Yeah. And describing the winds as Wizard of Oz-esque. Yeah. Me pretending I'm Judy Garland in the infamous film that some on TikTok like to say was the first color film that's ever existed. TikTok, rest in peace.
I know, R.I.P.
Yeah. Who knows what's going to happen there?
By the time this comes out.
What an interesting time.
I know. I imagine when you fell too, you were just like, uh-oh, Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I said. Of course.
Instead of saying, ow, you screamed that.
Yeah, looking for my dog, screaming at my dogs.
And everything went black and white, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I, on the other hand, which I actually mentioned last week, had my hot tub time machine armpit rash. And it actually, I woke up the next day after we recorded in intense pain in the midst of like, that was the
world
height
burning
of when the fires were just like taking over the world.
Yeah.
And I was like, my armpits hurt. What do I do? And I was just like, don't know what to do. But I was like, I need meds. I need something because this is actually getting worse and worse. I also found out, inertias, that actually like 75% of the people who were at that Airbnb that last weekend got the same hot tub
time machine
folliculitis. Which, by the way, when I say hot tub folliculitis to people, friends and family, loved ones, anyone I come across. Everyone seems to know about it.
They know about it.
And has had it. And I'm like, I didn't realize that this was such a common malady.
Well, it's genetic. you have the gene, unfortunately.
I mean, I do have the hot tub. Like, I do think that, like, there are a lot of people who all say, like, oh, my dad loves a hot tub. And I just thought that like, everyone's dad loved a hot tub. And I don't feel like people, like, relate on the same. I'm always shocked that, like, oh, and I'm like, doesn't every dad love a hot tub?
That's such a good question. I think every dad does love a hot tub. Every mom, though, some moms get worried that if you go under the water, your hair is going to get caught in one of the jets.
Oh, I've always heard that your heart will, like, you'll have heart problems or something.
Oh, interesting. So that's what your mom says. My mom is all about the hair getting caught in the jets. And, I mean, the hair journey I've been on, I can't risk it.
Yeah, she was calling you every day, don't go to hot tub.
Of course. Yeah. But to know that now I've caught the gene from you, the hot tub funicularitis.
Yeah. Oh, you will.
It's a ride.
Sure.
The funicularitis.
Yeah, it's a very painful ride that leaves you in urgent care.
Sure.
But I'm fine. I'm on meds. It all worked out. But this has been an interesting week. To say the least.
I mean, imagine combined if you or if I had hot tub funiculitis, we both caught it. Both of us with funiculitis.
That's the correct term.
And both of us with a broken foot.
Yeah.
Both on crutches with hot tub funiculitis in our armpits. Wow.
You do know it's folliculitis. Okay.
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
That is what I've been saying.
Yours sounds like fornicate, like fornicate.
I'm thinking funicular.
Honestly, funicular. What is funicular?
Which I believe is some sort of transportation. I think it's a
people on
funicular.
YouTube will comment on this, and all of them will come for us.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're going to come for us.
Yeah.
No, I believe it's when like it's a transport like up a mountain. There's one in downtown, Angel's Ride or whatever.
It's called a
I think it's
funicular?
called a funicular.
I think it's just called like a subway or like a train.
No, it's like, but it goes
A
specifically like
railway?
goes up. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like a railway that like goes up a hill,
Okay.
up and down a hill. And when I one time took one in Barcelona up to the Olympic Stadium where I saw Beyonce, and the person I was with, also an American, was saying funicular.
And so maybe it's not English?
I don't know.
Greg, it's time to get into our most famous segment.
Our most firstest segment.
Yes, the
of
firstest
the pod.
of all of them, which is Dad Mom Sauce.
Right, a.k.a. Doll of the Day, Mother of the Moment, Sister of the Second. Whoa, I almost lost myself mid.
Because I was like, I have to get in it.
Yeah, totally. It's our first segment where we talk about the person, place, or thing that we're currently most obsessed with. Tim, I'm going to let you take this one first.
Okay, well, in the spirit of what is currently going on in our city, our beloved city, my Dad Mom Sauce is... I was out getting some prescriptions, as we are all well aware. Multiple.
Sure. Oh, right.
And while I was there...
Yeah, there's other things going on.
I was reminded of just how great the people of Los Angeles are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like walking into the pharmacy, and there is an 80-year-old woman with her husband. Definitely looks younger than both of us.
Oh, of course.
And
surgically speaking.
No, sadly, naturally. With us with surgery, still look older than this woman.
Sure, okay.
And I'm like kind of in my own little world, like in a lot of pain. And then I hear, all of a sudden, I say a little prayer for you. And I'm sure that that's like a older song, but I only know it from my best friend's wedding.
Oh, I thought that was Stepmom. No, that's Ain't No Mountain.
That's yes.
Okay.
Great. Oh my God, we have to.
We'll
when we
get
do
there.
Julia Roberts,
We'll get
I'm
there.
gonna lose my damn mind. But anyway, so
or Susan Sarandon, my new drag name, Susan So Random. Anyways,
well, I'm out going to get my prescription. I hear that song. I look, and this 80-year-old woman is like, her husband has the grocery cart and is pushing it, and she is literally, I'm not kidding you, like popping up, like she crouched down, like so her face is near the like where his hands are, and starts like serenading him with this song, and he is getting so embarrassed. I forget her name. Let's just say it's Terry.
okay. Yeah, that seems...
It's just that anyone... I'm just going to make everyone
blanket,
Terry right now.
Yeah, blanket CVS singer.
Yeah, and so he is so embarrassed, and she's feeding off of that, and so she's getting louder and louder, and then getting like higher and higher closer to his face, and then starts circling the grocery cart, and he's just like, Terry, we're in public.
Terry the Terror.
yeah. Terry was being a terror. Which, by the way, this is a side note, but I was telling Anthony that I did Aunt Terry, and that you said that it wasn't short for anything. I wish I could remember. And he goes, it's actually like long for like Terracina. I can't remember what it is.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Anthony. I will publicly apologize to you and Aunt Terry, which honestly wish it was short for Terry.
I honestly can't remember what the name was. Yeah. What's going on over there? Greg's popping up some Dr. Pepper in the background.
Yeah. Just say a little prayer for you.
Yeah, a little, yeah. But this woman was just serenading, and he was getting so embarrassed. And then he even then pointed, he's like, that man's looking... First off, thank you for calling me a man.
Right.
And I...
Didn't hear you speak yet.
And I obviously... And I like didn't actually say anything. I kind of did a gesture like, "Oh, it's fine." And she was like, "He doesn't mind," and then like continued doing a couple more lyrics. And I was like, "This woman is out here in her 80s, clearly so in love with her husband, serenading him in public because she just wanted to."
Well, and hoping she gets discovered. I mean, it is Los Angeles after all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, which is to me a great example of just like the great people that are filled in our city.
Yeah.
And also, that's who I want to be when I'm 80. bugging Anthony
in a CVS.
Yes.
Or an unnamed pharmacy.
Unnamed, yeah, exactly.
Until you sponsor us.
And then
Yeah,
and then we'll say a little prayer all over the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll say as many prayers as you need.
Do you, Gregory, have a Dad Mom sauce, and what is it?
Oh boy, do I ever have a Dad Mom sauce. As you know, we've been on this journey together. Last year, I got very into local hotspot Six Flags. So, it's the turn of the new year, and I start receiving no less than, I want to say, 15 emails every single day encouraging me to act now for the special offer to renew my subscription. And I feel very, very, keen to help the local economy right now. And one of the ways I'm doing that is by obviously renewing my season passes to Six Flags
You did?
Magic Mountain. Well,
Okay.
I have attempted to.
Okay.
So I was receiving an email, again, I think no less than 15 times a day, probably more, saying, act now for this special price. You have until January 5th. Oh, and?
I was going to say, and sort of famously, we've talked about this, that they really do target us as gay men, where it's like, Out on the Mountain is coming in August. Always, it's like 8 months away, and they're like, August 16th is Out on the Mountain.
Yeah.
And don't miss out on this opportunity. And you're always like, okay, like, stop doxing my sexuality here. Right. And so I'm curious.
How would they know?
I think because you attend it once.
Yeah.
Or if you attend it on that day, then they're just like, this is a gay guy.
Yeah, they're like, no blackout nights, faggot night, whenever you come.
I'm trying so hard not to say faggot, but
well, I'm just going to go
now
there.
That you said it.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag.
Exactly.
Bags out of the closet.
Yeah, faggot night whenever you arrive.
Yeah.
So of course I wanted to act fast, for the deal. Well, act fast, and by act fast, I mean, do it on the very, very last day
after
that it was available to me.
Yeah,
I think we actually discussed on last week how I can't let a sale pass by.
True.
So I went to the website. I went to renew, at the discounted price, and they told me to enter my pass number, which I did, and it said, "Can't do this. The pass is expired. If you have issues, call this number." So
it's like, can't do this, honey. Sorry, queen.
Exactly. Exactly. They're like, there's just photos of limp wrists, blocking me.
Nah, girly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They're twisting a knife. So I call the number, famously call the number. January 5th, I believe, was a Sunday. It was a weekend. And my Dad Mom sauce is the person on the other end of the phone who was very confused, seemed lost, wasn't sure what he was doing.
Yeah.
I called, I said, hey, so I was trying to renew my season pass for next year. I put in my information on the website, and it said I couldn't do it, said to call this number for help. And he was like,
And he, in fact, did work for Six Flags?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy starts narrating what he's doing. He's like, okay. So then I'm going to the website. And he enters the number that I give him, my number. And he goes, oh, it says this pass is, it can't be repurchased because it's expired. And it says to call this number and start listing off. I go, actually, I got that same, it's funny, I got that same exact message, and it said to call, is this the number? And I said the number, and he goes, oh, that's me. So then I spent the next half hour on the phone with this guy. He's like, so you got an email from us? I was like, yeah, I've gotten maybe 1 million emails in the last week, and I'm just sort of, he goes, would you be able, I'm going to ask my superior. So then you hear single clicking, the loudest click, one finger typing.
10 seconds in between each. Click.
So
click.
long.
Yeah.
Says, can you send us a screen grab of that email. I go, it's not
My
like a
blood is
personal.
starting to boil.
Yeah, I go,
Yeah.
it's not like a personal email that was sent to me. It's like a general
automated.
like marketing. You go, oh well, if it's not a personal email to you, I'm not sure. So I ended up talking to this guy for a half hour. Nothing was accomplished, and I just want to say, so the deal price to renew my pass.
Yeah.
The special deal price, $85
Okay.
for the year. I mean, that's a great deal,
That's a great
right?
deal.
To get a new pass for the year, just new,
Yeah.
unrenewed, $89. I have not bought it out of principle.
Yeah.
But
That's
that's
$4.
Yeah.
I don't believe that this is the end of your guys' story.
Oh, no.
You know what the funny part of this story is, to make it all about myself?
Oh, of course.
Is I'm like, why didn't I not receive? Because famously for your birthday, I also signed up for this deal.
Right.
And I didn't get a single email from
Interesting.
Six Flags. So
Maybe I'm being...
I think you're being scammed.
And I think that makes sense. I was sort of like giving my social security number.
Yeah.
Everything like I was wondering my bank account numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Every personal detail that you possibly could give, you gave.
Yeah.
And with that, let's take a break.
Sure. We're back. And it is time to get into our Miss Thing of the week.
Yes.
It is time.
It is time.
So formal.
I mean, well, it is formal because this is a formal week. And I will
Exactly.
say this is this is definitely our most important Miss Thing that we've ever done.
Sure.
Would you like to get into it?
Yeah, let's get right
Yeah.
into it. And that our Miss Thing this week is Los Angeles. Yeah, the city, the county.
Yes.
The city of angels.
Literally, the city and every person who is dealing with this tragedy. This is an episode for you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah, LA, you are our hometown. This to me is like, not to be all cheesy, but it's like, it is true that it's a city of dreamers. Like, we all are mostly, there are locals, but so many of us are transplants that came here, like, because of like the promise of what the city has
Right.
and is, and like, it's just a rare place in the world where it's like, if you are a dreamer, come here. And like, it is something that I feel, I don't know, is you can feel that this week of just like, people are just really banding together, coming together as a community, like being so proactive. I do feel like we are a very proactive, active city. People are hustlers in this city.
Absolutely. That is one thing that you can
Yeah.
for sure say about every person in this city.
Is they're hustlers, and
Yeah.
people are hustling to
Help.
rebuild, help, do whatever they can, and that's what makes, for me, the city so amazing.
Yeah, I co-sign everything you say. This place is really, say what you will, it can be maddening at times, but
Yeah.
it is like a place where you can come, and if you like think something, and if you have like are willing to work towards something, you can quite literally make anything happen.
Yeah.
There's like a magic to it. There's something in the air.
It's like a city of doers.
Yes, but it's a city of like truly possibilities.
Yeah.
Like it's like Hollywood, but you can like produce your life here because absolutely everything is available to you. Best food city on the planet. You can fight me if you disagree.
Except for New Jersey pizza.
Except for New Jersey pizza, of course. Yeah, but it's also such a city of like highs and lows. Like I say this with so much love because I just love it so much. And it also drives me crazy. Like, it's the most beautiful, like, warm weather place ever. And yet also on the ground, it reminds me of home, New Jersey, because it looks like a New Jersey highway when you're going through town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the people, it's funny, like, they get such a an interesting rap.
Yeah.
It's just everyone's so like misunderstood outside of this city, and yet everyone here like fully understands like what's going on with absolutely everyone else, no matter what, and like finds it amusing. Like, for example, on the way here, you know, the winds are supposed to pick up again today, and we're getting like warnings that, you know, a catastrophe might strike again. And I'm on the way here, and there's a man on a ladder in the middle of the street looking on something
Doers.
on top of his car. He could have put his ladder on the sidewalk and done it. But he just has his ladder in the middle of the street. And I, you know, when I swerved around it, of course, I just laughed.
Yeah.
I laughed. They're so funny. Comedians everywhere you look.
It is truly, I think LA is... we are a delusional bunch, but we are like, it's like where we all, like, this city is for all of us like-minded Delulus.
Exactly. It's like our shared hallucination. Yeah. We're Delulu, but also like keep it randomly so real.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I'm going to turn it around, and make it all about me.
Yeah, I think we need...
It is a tradition, and we have to keep to, in times of chaos, you know, try to keep to routine to help keep us sane.
Of course, and it is ultimately a place where everyone knows how to brand themselves.
Yes.
So we need to be making it all about us.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'd be remiss
but
to
it is
not.
on brand, which is like at Los Angeles. I love the people. And when I think of loving the people of Los Angeles, there's one story that comes to mind, which is a couple years back. I was in this very apartment. In fact, on this very couch. I was with my old roommate, Alex. It was a Friday morning. She was on her way out. She was actually going with her boyfriend, Charlie, to his mom's place, like near San Diego. So she was like right about to leave to go for the weekend. I was just like having my tea right before going to work in the morning on Friday. She's like, okay, bye. Like, I'll see you on Sunday night. And I was like, cool. Finished my iced tea, went to work, came back home, came to sit on this exact couch where I left it. And I found a little tiny box of chocolates with a like ribbon on it and a heart. And my heart stops because I'm like, I saw Alex leave for the weekend.
Right.
I was sitting here last.
Yeah.
And so I'm like...
Did I leave myself a little treat for later?
I was truly like losing my mind. And then I was also just like, okay, I'm about to be murdered.
Yeah.
I have a stalker, which would make sense because, like, obviously everyone's obsessed with me, and also they know me because obviously I would want chocolate.
Of course, famously, as you know, and any stalker is welcome because
you're gonna send me chocolate, please.
Yeah. And as you know, like, we welcome stalkers. Just know we might scare you away because we'll be so glad to have you.
So excited to have you.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm freaking out, and then I'm like, okay, well, when I'm stressed, I want to eat. So then I'm like, I should break open this box of chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, how could you resist?
Yeah, how could you resist? So then I'm just munching on. No, I did not eat the chocolate, but I did actually go find some other chocolate while staring at this new chocolate. I'm freaking out. I call Alex, or no, I texted Alex, and I was like, hey, you're in San Diego, right? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and you didn't come home? And she's like, no. And so I'm like, what the literal fuck? And then I was like, I'm not gonna, she's like, I can't remember, but I do think it might have been like the first time she was meeting his family. And so I was like, I'm not gonna like have her worry about the fact that like we have a strange box of chocolate.
Yeah, an intruder came in.
An intruder came in. She can find out about, like, if all they did was leave chocolates, it could be for her, but probably it's for me.
No, of course.
Probably,
yeah. She already has someone that loves her.
I was single at the time, so I was like, this has to be for me.
Yeah, of course.
And just the chilling thing of it, like, literally being on the couch, like, you somehow got into our apartment and placed it in the dead center of this couch. I was like, what's going on? I then immediately call so many people to be like, what do I do? Do I call the cops? Do I call the FBI?
Is it safe to eat?
Yes, exactly.
Do I have a chocolatier who can come test this?
Can I eat this all in one sitting?
Right.
Yeah. So many questions. And I will say it didn't look that expensive.
Sure.
And so, which in that regard, I was like, okay, so this is definitely, you know, maybe someone's not obsessed with me and they want to murder me.
That's like better actually for you in terms of quality.
But not better in the sense of like my stalkers, I want them to give me nice chocolate.
Of course. You won't like it because nice chocolate's kind of like actually.
But I want them to think that I want nice chocolate, you know?
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm freaking out, call people. Unfortunately, everyone's saying that like the FBI is not needed in this case, which I don't understand. I'm like, oh, do I have to wait 48 hours before it comes? And then I decide, okay, I'm gonna call Alex and just be like, yo, like this thing happened. I call her, and she goes, oh, right, I did actually come back. And she was like, right after, must have been like 30 minutes after you left, we forgot something. I just like quickly opened the front door because around here we use the back door to go in and out.
Yes.
Obviously, you know.
Yeah. We don't need to elaborate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we're not used to using the front door. And so she was like, I just came in, picked something up, and I saw outside that there was like a chocolate box. And she's like, it looks like there's a new neighbor who left chocolate boxes around everyone's front door as like a welcome. And then I opened the door and there was like a little note that she didn't take off that was still tapped to the door.
The wire tap that was also placed in your home.
It was literally just like a sweet note from the people below that was just like, hey, we just moved into the apartment complex and we just wanted to say like we're so happy to be here and basically like, here's a box of chocolate, hope to see you around.
Yeah, and also that's so interesting because that is such a key quality of everyone in Los Angeles, that they love sweets and they love to give people sweets. That they want to eat themselves, but they won't eat themselves, but they bring them and they're constantly gifting. Like they'll go to like the local bakeries. At CBS when we worked there, I mean, someone brought in donuts, pastries, something new every day, and they would sit in the kitchen. They just wanted to watch other people eat them, and that's such a beautiful quality, very giving.
I've adopted that where I always am giving you food to watch you eat it.
Yeah. And I love to eat.
Yes, because you're a Taurus.
Exactly. You're learning.
Greg, how do you make the lovely people of Los Angeles all about yourself?
Well, I'm sort of going to go, like more macro. When I think about Los Angeles, you think about the beach. You think about Hollywood. You think about LA Fitness.
And I know it well.
That is another characteristic. I mean, this is one of the healthiest places on earth. The people they really take care of themselves. They take care of their diet. They take care of their bodies.
That is a thing that doesn't get talked. I know that we get a lot of shit for maybe like focusing on it too much, but it's nice to have like some sort of pressure to like always kind of be like thinking about like health in a way that growing up in the Midwest, there was no sort of, if anything, it was more like, have that extra beer, like eat like that whole thing of dip to yourself, and if not, there's something wrong with you, and then you're like, okay, well now I have heartburn.
Right, broccoli, that's weird.
Yeah.
But that takes me to a famous experience I had at a gym that I used to go to. I'm actually going to put down my DP 0 for this story.
Jennifer Z's, it's getting real.
Exactly. And here I am drinking Dr. Pepper's.
0.
Yeah, so that's my health consciousness for you. Yeah. So a few years ago, I was going to the gym frequently. I still do. I'm a regular gym goer. What can I say? But at this particular time, I hadn't been in a while, and I was looking for like a full body workout, and I needed something new to do. So yeah, we're always up on the latest trends, and I have this disease. It's not contagious, but like when I'm at the gym, even if it's empty and there's one other person there, that person comes and they work out on top of me. They need the exact equipment that I'm using. Even if there's doubles, they need the one that I'm using. They need to work in. They need to. So I work out twice as hard as everyone because I'm like doing my regular workout, but I'm also dodging.
You're literally holding people away.
For whatever reason, I'm a magnet to other people at the gym. That's neither here nor there.
Wait, I'm totally derailing your story, but I just saw Kelly Mantle on like Trixie and Katya's podcast, and she talked about this exact same thing. And she said that when she goes to gyms, she has a thing that says "out of order," like a little white piece of paper that she folds, and she puts it next to the treadmills and the ellipticals, and even in the sauna, she'll bring a thing that says "out of order" so that no one has to be next to her on the elliptical or in the sauna.
Wait, someone else has this disease?
Yes, Kelly Mantle. You guys are twins.
Kelly Mantle, yeah. I need to find you. We need to talk. This is it's crazy. Yeah. Like if there's no one else there, someone will come out right next to me and be on top of me. So that being said, at the time, there was sort of a trend where there was like a lot of ball work happening at the moment. So like there were, those big sort of sandy, hefty balls.
Oh,
someone
would grab
Sandy especially.
Yeah.
They'd grab them, they'd sort of pick them up and they'd throw them down.
Yeah.
It was so loud. The loudest thing you could ever imagine. And it was always happening so close to me. So I got to the gym, and of course someone was right next to me on the stretching mat, and I was like sort of looking up like what I could do. There was a new workout that I was interested in, and it required ball throwing, and this one did not require ball thrown at the floor. It was a ball to the wall, and I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. Yeah. So as soon as someone gets like goes away from me, I'll like start that, because I also don't want to look stupid in front of anyone else.
News to me.
Oh, well. Yeah, well, okay. So I grab one of those big sandy balls. Yeah. Very, very heavy.
Yeah.
And I sort of like test it. I test it against one wall. It's too loud. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't work for me. Sort of test it against another wall. Not as loud. So I'm like, okay, that's going to be the one that I use. And everyone's been doing this left and right. So I'm like, it's all the craze. Normal. Like, let's see. So it's the very first exercise. I sort of lean forward. I lean forward. I'm on my knees, and it's a ball over the head. It's ball to the wall. You got it.
Yeah.
So I really like ramp back. I should be by my microphone. Yeah. I ramp back. I really, really ramp back. And I throw that ball into the wall. And when I'm telling you, that ball goes through the wall. Through the wall. Doesn't bounce back. It just lodges into the wall.
First exercise.
Very first exercise. In weeks, mind you. I look up. Of course, no one was near me for once. I look up. There's a camera sort of fixed on me, looking this way. For some reason, for whatever reason, no one was at the gym that day. So I just I go, okay. And I dislodged the ball from the wall and I put it down. I get up. I walk through the gym. Yeah. I walk to the front desk. No one's there. I walk out the door. And I never went back to that gym ever. It closed a few months later.
Because of the drafts that had now been.
Maybe. Yeah, I was pretty sure that there was wanted signs. I would like sit by my phone. I would not be able to sleep at night. I would be waiting by my phone for the call to come in that I'd been found.
This is like definitely like top 5 Greg story for me. I have heard this story many times. I honestly ask you to tell it so often because it's one of my favorites.
It's hard to tell on the pod because I needed to take the microphone.
I know. You have to go out to YouTube to watch it because he was doing a lot of gestures. He's really, using his body for this story while only having one leg to do that.
Right, exactly.
It is so funny. I do believe that you are wanted. Even if that gym is closed down, they will find you. One day they will find you.
List.
Yeah. Especially now that this is being released.
I did hear months later, like it closed months later, but I heard like a month had gone by and the hole was still there.
I actually do remember at the time that I really wanted to go back to the gym.
I know, and I remember being emphatic that I would not.
I know, and I
was still paying.
Like, let's go for a drive.
Right. Well, with that,
let's take a break.
Welcome back. And it is time for Diva Down.
Our most famous segment.
Yeah. Our most famous of the third segments that we do in our podcast. Our third and final segment.
And this segment is...
Yeah, where we give unsolicited advice to a person, place, or thing in the culture that really, really needs.
Wait, did we say it's called Diva Down? Did we?
I think I said Diva Down. Well, the segment's called Diva Down.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us for the first time. And our Diva Down this week, this is a big one, is of course Carrie Underwood. And you know what she's doing.
Yes. Well, we're going to tell them.
Yeah.
This is like, for me, I don't think this really affects you as much. But
not so much.
She was my girl on season 4 of American Idol.
She was my roommate in college randomly loved Carrie Underwood so much. And I remember he like never watched American Idol or anything. Yeah. And like he loved the Carrie Underwood season and was obsessed with her. Well, she is, of course, let's say. So she is singing
at the inauguration.
We're not even going to say of who, but you're going to have to deduce.
Yes. And it is just so disappointing. I mean, I guess it's not shocking, but it is like, for me, I'm kind of like, what are you doing? You are... It's very rare for country artists to have like a gay following, and you just lost in the snap of a whatever.
Yeah.
You just lost all of us. And I just don't understand like what the point of it is. It's like, why? What are you doing?
Why? And why didn't you do anything the first time?
Yeah.
Also, like the first...
Knowing what, like... If anything, it's like would be better if you did it the first time, because it's like you could still be like, maybe he'll change. Like maybe he just ran a terrible election cycle, but he'll be a better president. It's like we've already had him as president. We know how terrible he is, and you're now knowingly doing it.
Yeah, you're supporting this the second
Monster.
time. It's a shocking realization. That said, I mean, let's be honest, Carrie Underwood hasn't been a name on anybody's lips in I want to say upwards of a decade. But I mean, if we didn't know when she did Sound of Music live, I mean, we should have known then.
Well, she took away the wrong lessons. Did you see that tweet?
I did see that tweet. It's so funny. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not so surprised, and I've never actually been a huge Carrie Underwood fan. I mean, she has the slowest vibrato of any singer I've ever heard, and she's always flat.
I don't know what vibrato means, and I also don't know what it means.
It's like the spin in people's voice, but she's a you know when people the vibrato. I cannot be explaining vibrato to our listeners. They all know, but you can park a car in the spaces between her vibrato. Let me tell you, it's as slow as can be.
Well, speaking of park a car, my advice for Carrie Underwood is, instead of letting Jesus take the wheel, why don't you let us take the wheel?
Yeah,
and we'll park it. We'll park that car
in between the spaces in your vibrato,
so that you actually don't sing it. There's still time. I think actually the day that this episode releases might be the inauguration. I'm not sure, or right around there.
Yeah,
and it's
I
like,
think so.
There's time. Please stop what you're doing.
Yeah,
recognize who you're supporting. And also, my other advice is just to us, which is to then go support the original American Idol, the only American Idol, Kelly Clarkson. Go right now and treat yourself to, honestly, any of her karaoke's.
Exactly.
Because she will outsing whoever the original is. There are plenty of them that she's done of Carrie's, I believe.
Sure.
Go support a true American icon.
Yeah, that everyone loves. Yeah, it's interesting. That's such a good point. And if anything, it's just it really shows now more than ever that Carrie Underwood, you will never be Kelly Clarkson. Mm-hmm. My advice to you would, be to take voice lessons, because I've always had issue with your pitch. You need to learn how to raise your ya. Perhaps, but I think it's
You might
actually...
as well be speaking a completely different language to me.
Sure.
And can you explain what yaya is?
Well, that's a famous sort of TikTok experience. There is a vocal coach on TikTok, and there was some girl who was having her voice was cracking while she was singing something, and
you?
No. Well, I've been there before, but this is famous sort of vocal coaching technique where instead of saying whatever word it is, you change it to like ya, or like a different. So she goes, raise your ya.
Is this off of the Beyonce song or no?
It's not a Beyonce song. We're not talking about Beyonce right now. Okay. This is a young, like maybe a middle school age girl who's learning how to sing a song, but it's a famous sort of TikTok thing. Okay. I would say, maybe Carrie should go see this vocal coach, learn to raise her ya, but I think it's too late for that. Yeah, I think this decision is just a sort of an outer manifest story of her wicked nature.
I hope that there's still time for her to change her mind.
Sure. Raise her ya.
And on to way more important stuff, which is... and this week in lieu, if you guys can even believe it, of telling you about more stuff where you can find us, we want to tell you to... if you have any spare change or money... there are some great places you can donate. I think sometimes in like times of natural disasters, it's great to like support places like the Red Cross, but it's also great to like find a specific family that you know, or if you don't know, you can go to GoFundMe homepage, and right now they're featuring tons of families that like specifically are having their own GoFundMe campaigns. Yeah, and if you just go to their like regular homepage, you'll find like they're featuring a whole bunch of families that really need help. Sure. So that is my recommendation for a place to donate. And we also throw up links for volunteer sites if you are in Los Angeles and you want to volunteer.
Yeah, and if you are local, like consider donating water, clothes, whatever. There's everyone's looking for everything. And yes, you can go to our Instagram at Missing the Pod, and we'll put things on our link tree, resources where you can help. But just really stay safe out there, everyone. Yeah. We love you. We love you, Los Angeles. Yes. Wow.
And with that...
Bonk.
Aw.
Miss Thing Podcast is created, executive produced, and hosted by Greg Trimmer and Tim Zientek.
It's produced and edited by Benji Simons, with cover art and additional creative support by Claude Zeins.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at MissThingThePod.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, but only raves. Strictly 5 stars and above.
Follow Greg at Greg Trimmer and Tim at Tim_Zientek on all social media.
Bonk.